Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about, is the golden age of food delivery apps over? You know, I feel like this is a question that a lot of people have been asking. When is the delivery boom over? With all of the recent events happening, Doordash, UberEats Grubhub, how long are they gonna last? And is that date closer than we think? So in this video, I actually want to go over this article I found and see what they have to say, because quite honestly, it's a very important subject for all gig workers. Let's take a look. Convenience is everything in the modern world. If something can't be done quickly, it's very often cast aside as it is a cumbersome obstruction. Who wants to make a phone call or pay cash when you can click a button? Speed and convenience drive the rise in modern technology like self-checkouts and food delivery apps. Payments report that the convenience factor drives up to 65% of delivery app usage via payments. Keep in mind, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub are in fact luxury services. They're not cheap. You're paying for the convenience. Now there's also the argument of the restaurant actually cooking for people, us being paid properly, where's all that money going, etc., etc. But let's be honest, that's not coming to us anytime soon, at least not from the company side of things. Using a takeout app couldn't be simpler. Excite your brain with the multitude of tasty options. Press a few buttons and before you know it, you're on the sofa, stuffed and unable to move. Such ease has helped to make the global food delivery market over $150 billion. According to McKinsey & Company, 26.2 billion of that just from the US per Business Wire. That's a lot of pizza. Is it just me, or are orders that are delivered give less overall food? There was actually an article recently about how Chipotle ends up shorting customers for food delivery. I'll leave a link to that video in the description because I think it exposes something very important that most people aren't getting when it comes to actually having your food delivered. But yeah, the food delivery industry, a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's gonna grow by 2030 and stuff like that. I don't know how much a recession actually accounts for that. Like, I know we are entering an era where having multiple incomes is almost vital, but still. But despite those booming figures and Bloomberg's second measure notating an 8% increase in US food delivery sales, NBC News cites the fall in share prices of major delivery companies, Uber Eats and DoorDash, as well as financial issues at Grubhub, as evidence that the hype of food takeout apps is over. But is the food delivery industry faltering, and how are the big three companies faring? DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub do have a significant amount of market share, but they're not profit. Like, all of them have been focused on growth and are relying on venture capital and investor money. NBC News reported the problems facing food delivery companies. Inflation pushing up the price of food and gas, forcing people to restrict spending is one of them. As is people becoming less reliant on home eating than they were during the COVID-19 pandemic. Customers are also choosing to dine out more and may be concerned by high delivery app charges. Like I said, these apps are a luxury service, not cheap to use these apps. Yes, you could pay for their monthly programs and reduce it significantly. And I do say, if you're gonna order on one of these apps, you absolutely should be on those programs. With food and gas getting more expensive, plus the delivery charges, I understand why people are stepping back, and I also understand why drivers are stepping back. MarketWatch notes that food delivery is widely unprofitable despite large revenues. According to Business of Apps, DoorDash has never made a profit, although the company is optimistic it will do. Reports FreightWaves, even though it admits pressures from the above struggles. However, Grubhub's inability to create profit has led to it being put up for sale by its parent company, Just Eat. Reports of Evening Standard. Uber's delivery section mainly comprises of Uber Eats, explained The Guardian, and has managed just $3 million profit on 14 billion of sales, reports FreightWaves. Well, first off, DoorDash is only focusing on growth and expansion. They're not really focusing on profit at the moment. Grubhub is not only for sale, it's not even on the same page as Just Eat Takeaway. In fact, their CEO even stated that it's not about selling the company, it's about growing the company. I'll leave a link to the video I made on that subject in the description, so you could develop your own opinions on that subject. And Uber Eats, the only company that's even made made a profit during this whole experience, made 30 million in profit, whereas 14 billion of it is in sales. Their goal is to actually become a super app, and they're not just doing Uber Eats like this says. They're doing Uber Connect, and Uber Eats is a significant part of that, don't get me wrong. Uber has even stated they have yet to go big, so they have a lot more potential here than I think a lot of people are giving them credit for. Given the economic challenges and elusive sizable profits, it may very well be that the golden age for food delivery apps is over, and the market is still evolving. Although such a large market is unlikely to disappear entirely, it may be that some companies are unable to stave off competition from their rivals and end up being swallowed. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. I've been paid $10 for my opinion. So here you go. There's always going to be a market for convenience. I think for a season, while this recession is in play, that things are going to be a little tougher, but that's going to be the case across the board. It's not going to be like, oh, just these people or just these people. No, it's going to be everybody. Like I tell people 1,000 times, diversify, diversify, diversify. Diversify what gig apps you're on. Diversify by having a side hustle. Gig work is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal. It's never the goal. And don't be dependent on any one source of income, because who knows where these gig apps are going to be. I will say this though, that all of these gig apps have proven one thing as far as the way they've been growing. They will always find a way to make orders happen, to keep orders coming, even when there is such a hate for them. Like so many people are against DoorDash specifically. Whether it's a customer, a merchant, what have you, they always find a way to keep them coming. And Uber Eats and Grubhub have been proven flexible as well. Grubhub, not so much. These apps are very versatile in the way they make money. Do I think that they're gonna disappear tomorrow? No. Do I think you should prepare yourself anyway? Yeah, but I would tell you that no matter what our market looks like, you never really know when you're gonna get deactivated or when the company is just not gonna be there anymore. That being said, I also think that the term golden age was misplaced here, because the golden age of any food delivery app is upon opening, where they're actually paying people very well, and just before they actually change their pay model to where they're paying people less. That's just how it is. Now, what should you do as a gig worker? Same thing as always. Diversify your gig portfolio, start a side hustle that can be considered your long-term goal, save your money, do what you have to do to make sure you're financially safe during these challenging times. Because at the end of the day, these companies don't care about you, and your financial safety is what really matters. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!